Radical Radio Collective.
4ZZZ. Good afternoon, listeners. You're tuned in to 4ZZZ 102.1 FM. This is Eco Radio, Australia's longest running peace and environment radio show, probably. You can fact check that. We are taking over your middle of the day, middle of the week, middle-ish of the month airwaves. My name is Dave. My pronouns are he, him. And I want to start off by acknowledging and paying my respects to the custodians of the country in which we broadcast. We're located in the city of Mungingin, or Meanjin, on Turrbal, Yaga and Yugambeh land. I also want to acknowledge and pay my respects to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are listening in today. Our radio waves reach Cubby Cubby and Yinnabarra country in the north, Waka Waka country in the west. In the east, we pay our respects to the Quandamooka people, and down south, we reach the Commonwealth, Nagaragwal, Mununjali, Wandjaraba, Yugambeh and Bunjalung countries. Thank you to No Idea for all the great ideas and really interesting discussions. I'm always a big fan of Orca Talk. That's always an interesting subject. I've said it before on the show, just the history of orcas working with humans is fascinating to me. Down in Eden, on the New South Wales south coast, they used to help whalers kill and trap other whales, which is mind-boggling to me. And they would only help them if they left the tongue of the whale for the orcas to eat. Eventually, the whalers stopped doing that and the orcas stopped helping. It's fascinating. Well, today on the show, we aren't talking about orcas. We're going to be talking to Burnice Starkey. She is a resident of the Glasshouse Mountains and is campaigning to save our Glasshouse Mountains from the expansion of a quarry. So that's coming up soon. Later in the show, we'll be talking to Aunty Dale Chapman about Bushfood's a Bushfoods workshop that she'll be running this Saturday at the Gathaa First Nations Market on the sunny coast. So yeah, we've got an absolute jam-packed show for you, packed full of jam. But before we get into that, we should address what the government, both state and federal, have been doing. The new hate speech laws are going through Parliament here in Queensland. The Attorney General, Deb Frecklington, confirmed Globalise the Intifada and From the River to the Sea would be included as prescribed phrases in those hate speech laws. Frecklington said these sayings have no place in Queensland when they are used to incite hatred, offence and menace. That is the important qualifier there. You can't say from the river to the sea Palestine will be free if it is used to incite hatred, offence and menace. And after seeing the thuggery of the New South Wales Police on Monday, it looks like they aren't going to be civil with our civil disobedience. But, like I said, we have a jam-packed show, so let's get cracking.
A weekly dose of science on 4ZZZ is now available as a podcast.
I learned that you can hear the difference between different water temperatures when they're poured. I'm going to pour one after the other into a different glass, and you have to tell me which one is which temperature. I've got a hot and a cold. Right, here's the first one. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm saying cold.
It sounds cool, yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the second one. Well played.
Shut up.
Search No Idea 4ZZZ on your favourite podcasting app. That's spelled K-N-O-W, like Kano Idea. It's a visual pun on an audio platform. I don't know why we did it.
That was a bit of a tongue-in-cheek song there from Pink Jelly with I Don't Like Hiking. Which actually segues quite wonderfully into my chat today with Burnice Starkey from Save Our Glasshouse Mountains, because I assume, Burnice, that you love hiking.
Well, I used to be part of the Brisbane bushwalkers and did do a fair bit of walking around this area. Now I'm more into bird watching rather than peak bagging.
Right, okay. So you are a campaigner with Save Our Glasshouse Mountains. It's to save the area from the expansion of a quarry. Can you tell us about the plans to expand the quarry and where the quarry is located in the Glasshouse Mountains?
Well, yes, that's the thing. Most people don't realise that there is this glasshouse quarry right at the foot of what most people would know as Crook Neck. We actually use the Indigenous name Carina, Mount Carina, and it's sort of a hidden secret because the visibility of it has not been apparent to people coming to visit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as it gets bigger, if one was to go to Mount Gungan, another one of the family of mountain peaks here, it is now visible from the ridgeline of Mount Gungan.
Yeah, right.
But more importantly, they want to get bigger, the present owners of this quarry.
Yeah, so the company running the quarry, Heidelberg, have said that they need to expand so that they can meet the growing demand for quarry materials needed to support the housing and infrastructure within the region. Can you tell us why you're opposed to the expansion?
Yes, well, that argument doesn't really hold when you consider how many quarries there are on the Sunshine Coast. And we think, more importantly, these mountains are iconic. They're a living heritage. Most people would recognise that in their passport, like Uluru, the Glasshouse Mountains feature. Any tourism advertisement usually leads with promoting Queensland with the Glasshouse Mountains. They're heritage listed. National parks surround the whole area. So the idea of more blasting, going deeper into the existing quarry boundary, they're not going outside their key resort area as far as width. They're going deep. They're going 66 metres down. And I just wish the listeners would consider 48 metres below sea level. So we're extremely anxious about the groundwater, the uncertainty with this depth of extraction, and what that will have to do with the surrounding habitat, because we're not just talking about people being disturbed, we're talking about our wildlife as well. This is National Park area.
Yeah, so can you tell us about the environment that is at risk if the groundwater is disturbed then?
Well, not just the groundwater. Let's first talk about the blasting. The impacts that we've listed, because we're in court, the impacts that we have listed is indeed the dust and air quality, because with the blasting comes the potential risk of silica in the dust. We finally have been able to ascertain that there is silica in the dust, so any small amount is not good. And it's not only caused with the blasting going up in the air, but the crushing and the haulage. Now, this blasting from excavations doesn't keep their plume of cloud just over the boundary of the quarry. That goes up, it drifts, and then it drops. And depending on the wind direction, people are getting dust in their houses, on their patio furniture. It's obviously going on to the wildlife. And we're talking about threatened species that reside in Glasshouse Mountains. I mean, glossy cockatoos don't get a memo when a blast is happening, so the flyways are affected as much as the dust falling onto flora, but then again onto the surrounding creek. Because beside the quarry is the Carina Creek, and it's one of the catchment waterways towards the Palmerston Passage. And this is an internationally recognised Ramsar area of significance. So what's in the water there? We need better information about water testing and air quality testing, because the information that Heidelberg Materials has been misleading. I'll just use that word since we're in court.
Yeah.
And add to all of that, if they do succeed with this expansion, we're talking about doubling their extraction amount, and now they've got a yearly extraction amount of 600,000 tonnes, but they would like to have 1.2 million tonnes per year, which would mean possibly, on a busy day, a doubling of the heavy traffic, the quarry truck frequency through our little township of Glasshouse Mountains. So we've got that added traffic safety, noise and irritations to deal with as well.
Yeah, would that be running 24 hours a day or?
No.
Okay.
There are time limits, and they say that they only run between 6 and 6, and on the weekends it's only Saturday morning. That's why most real estate agents only show their houses on Sunday afternoon and Saturday afternoon.
Right.
They don't want everyone seeing the trucks going through town.
Oh, right, yeah. So you live in the Glasshouse Mountains area. What do you find so special about the Glasshouse Mountains that could be at risk?
Oh, the list is huge. Being a bird watcher, I'm very much distressed about what's happening to the wildlife. When I live 3 kilometres away from the quarry, and I feel the vibrations in my house. I don't know what's happening to them. This is a koala area, and where the trucks are moving, that's a koala movement area. It's designated. You can see it on any of the maps. And I love these mountains because I grew up looking at them when I lived at Redcliffe. I've walked amongst them, and now I've chosen to live amongst them, unbeknownst to me that there was a quarry.
Yeah.
That's what happens to most of us. We don't know until we get here, because it certainly doesn't feature prominently when you do your searches.
No, I didn't know about it until this was brought to my attention.
That's the case, and quite often we've gone to Mount Gungun just to inform people that when they're going to the top of Gungun to have a look across, and that's their first encounter with the quarry, and then they come back and ask us more questions. So that's why it's wonderful that you've given me the opportunity to sort of broaden this out. But I have to say, when I was looking for a new place to live, I chose this place because I think it chose me. I was driving through the area between Mount Biawa, which they call the Mother Mountain because she looks like a pregnant woman. This is part of the First Nations songline stories as well. And there was Crookneck, Mount Canaran, the son and the family, and Gungun, and then Tibragargan. And I now look at Tibragargan's left shoulder from my house. So that it just spoke to me as a beautiful place with really, dare I say, spiritual connections. But it had the wildlife and the peace and the tranquility that I was looking for. So I thought. And I also, I want to talk about the fact that the First Nations people, particularly the Cubby Cubby and the Jindaburra people, they have deep spiritual and ancestral connections with this area. And we've had other First Nations people coming down from the Cairns area, and they recognise the mountains in their songlines too. So it just blows my mind that this quarry, okay, it started as a small business, family business before the area was recognised as National Park, but the fact that through its long years it has grown, and now the company that owns it is a multinational international company whose base is in Heidelberg, hence the name. So they don't really care about what's happening to us. They're back in Heidelberg. And so when the company changed names, it was Hansen, then it became Heidelberg. When they made an appeal to expand, a group called Save the Glasshouse Mountains Incorporated galvanised and started becoming quite strong in their campaigns. It's not the first time that the people of Glasshouse Mountains have had to deal with these expansion pushes, but this is the first time we've had such a big company to have to deal with, endless, bottomless pit of money.
Yeah.
And the then newly elected LNP government gave the environmental approval for the expansion, which shocked us all because there were over 480 submissions from people saying no that live here and all the reasons why. Then it got passed down to the Sunshine Coast Council, but it did a long and heavy deliberation period asking all sorts of questions that we thought they should be asking. And the decision deadline, they missed it, which was August 2025. So Heidelberg Materials lodged a deemed refusal appeal in the Planning and Environment Court. And that's where we are now. We as co-respondents are supporting the Sunshine Coast Council in this P&E court case because Heidelberg wants to go ahead and pull more stuff out of the ground.
Okay, so how can our listeners help?
Well, I suggest get yourself educated that we've got a quarry. So go onto our website. It's the letters from Save Our Glasshouse Mountains, SOGHM, SOGHM.org.au, and you'll be educated on what's happening. What you can do is also go onto our Facebook site, Save Our Glasshouse Mountains, full name, and possibly, if you're in that position, donate to our fundraising because we have huge legal bills and also we have to get experts to support us in our case, and that's through chuff.org, Save Our Glasshouse Mountains. And by becoming part of the subscribers to our newsletters, you'll be notified when our next actions are on. We've done the petitions, we've done the submissions, we're in court now, but we've still got a long way to go.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much, Burnice, for talking to us.
I hope I've given you sufficient information to get started.
Absolutely. If anything changes, we'd love to have you back on. Thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you so much, Dave. Have a great day and keep up the good work.
Will do. That was Burnice Starkey from Save Our Glasshouse Mountains. You're listening to 4ZZZ. This is Eco Radio.
4ZZZ is a proudly independent community radio station. We've been supported by our listeners since 1975. If you like what we do, you can support us for a whole year by subscribing to 4ZZZ online, over the phone or in person at the station. Visit 4ZZZ.org.au/support for more details on how to keep community radio thriving.
Now you are listening to Eco Radio on 4ZZZ. And on the line now, I'm talking to Aunty Dale Chapman. Aunty Dale is a chef and author, adjunct associate professor at UQ. Aunty Dale, thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome.
So we're talking to you today because you're running a bushfood workshop at on the sunny coast at the Gathaa Bushfood Lovers Market.
Yep.
You formed a company called My Dilly Bag over 20 years ago that does bushfood, herbs and spices and syrups and all sorts. How did that come about?
Oh, I worked for the education department for a while, and I realised that we all knew about painting and didgeridoo and boomerang throwing and dancing, but no one really knew about bush foods and what sustained Aboriginal people for millennia. So I decided one evening that I was going to start a business, and it was all about how to marry my contemporary training as a chef and my traditional knowledge and teachings, as a First Nations person, and put together the Dilly Bag.
Yeah, and it's a great name for a bush food company, as bush foods would have been carried in dilly bags for centuries.
Yes, exactly.
And you're going to be running a bush food yarn and cook-up at the Gathaa First Nations Market on Saturday. What have you got planned to show people?
So we're actually going to be specialising at special event, I guess, because it's a bunya nut season. Hasn't it gone stupid? Like, it's a bumper season, a bumper crop's been out there, and there's been so much great spirit happening around the place. So I thought, why not show everyone how to prepare it, cook it, and understand the significance of it. So it's a chance to come along and learn, taste, shop and connect in one place, at the Gathaa Bushfood Lovers Market. So at Landcare, the Mooloolah River Landcare Nursery, which is a great space. And we're also going to be accompanied with Josie from the Bush Nursery, who's going to also take people on a walk that day and look at all the different plants and help people, be able to, incorporate native plants into their garden as well.
Yeah, that's a big part of bush foods, I think, is learning the plants in all types of forms, because they have, a lot of the time they have different aspects to them, not just a food. They could also be a string, they could also be a ointment,
Yes, medicines, they can be useful things like, making didgeridoos and, as you say, make it into string, weave it into a dilly bag.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So you did say, mention about the Bunya Crop, Bunya Dreaming Festival was held a couple of weeks ago. Huge amount of bunya nuts were collected. Are you seeing more people adopt bush foods into their diets now?
I have, yes. Over the past 25 years, there's really been a big increase in people wanting to understand more about Australian native ingredients and, yes, definitely putting them into their everyday meals, because that's what it's all about. How do we incorporate herbs and spices like lemon myrtle, anise myrtle, strawberry gum, wattle seed? How do we get all that into your everyday meals that you prepare at home?
Yeah. I'm sure people are aware of some of the bush foods that you stock in my dilly bag. Like you said, lemon myrtle, finger lime's a big one. Wattle seed is starting to become really big. But are you still finding new bush foods people use?
Yeah. There's lots of seasonal fruits that are around, like all those herbs and stuff. They're usually all year round. You can always get lemon myrtle. You can basically always get wattle seed because quite a lot of it's collected. But the individual stuff, things like bush bananas and lily pillies and things that are quite seasonal, we need to get them and gather them up as soon as they're on the tree. There are more and more ones across Australia being identified, which is really great for the industry.
Yeah, I when I first tasted Ouray plum or rainforest plum, Davidson plum, I was really surprised at how strong the sourness and the tartness was, but still had that nice plum flavour. Are you surprised by bush foods sometimes, the taste?
Yeah, definitely. And, you do have to taste things. So some things can be quite sweet, like little native currants are sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Some of those lily pillies you get are quite tart, so they're a lot more like a crunchy Granny Smith apple.
Yep.
And others have a really lovely flavour of cinnamon and clove and ginger when you cook with it. So, yeah, it's always exciting to try a new product and understand the different flavours and how you can utilise it, because some things you need to infuse, so you need to warm it in stocks or perhaps in syrups and things. Other items you have to grind up and then put them into your flour mixes. So, yeah, it's very exciting, I think, as I go through Australia, I'm introduced to a lot more different varieties of bush foods, which is really exciting for me.
Yeah, I think it's going to be exciting for everyone. The Bushfood Yarn and Cook-Up at the Gathaa First Nations Markets on Saturday. You're going to be talking from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Yeah, the event starts. We've actually got 10:30. We've got get your didge on with Darren. This year we've incorporated a young men and young man adults, so male, and come along and learn how to play didgeridoo. So we're really focusing on that this year, getting a little team of didgeridoo players. Then we've got the bushwalk at 11:30 with Josie and Suzanne, and then I'm on at 1:30.
1:30, yeah.
Bunya. Yeah, so that's going to be, we have lots of First Nation stall holders are going to be there. So, it's a really good day to come along and experience all the different bush food products, arts, crafts, fashion, skincare, artifacts.
It sounds like it's going to be a great gathering. Thank you so much, Aunty Dale, for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for calling.
No, absolutely. That was Aunty Dale Chapman. She is a chef, an author, adjunct associate professor at UQ, and we've just been talking about the Gathaa Markets, which are First Nations markets held at Mooloolah River Landcare Native Nursery this Saturday, the 14th of February. You're listening to 4ZZZ. This is Eco Radio.
Paradigm Shift's podcast is available online and via your favourite podcasting app, challenging the assumptions of our current society to investigate alternative ways of living for a world based on justice, solidarity and sustainability. Tune in to the Paradigm Shift podcast. Just search The Paradigm Shift, 4ZZZ.
You're listening to Eco Radio on 4ZZZ 102.1 FM. Everything's connected.
You are listening to Eco Radio. This is 4ZZZ. My name is Dave. My pronouns are he, him. We just heard then from Lydia Fairhall with Winter Came. That is all I've got planned for the show today. We will finish off with the Bushcare Roundup. But I just want to say that if you like what we do here at 4ZZZ, or specifically on Eco Radio, just like Marky, who texted in, Marky said it was a great discussion, talking about the Glasshouse Mountains. He has a lot of time for it, and walked all the mountains barefoot last year. Just amazing. Oh, that's mind-boggling. He also did an abseiling ropes course at Gungan, so that he can do bush regeneration on mountain faces and steep slopes. That's that's hardcore bush regen, hardcore bush care. I love it. And a non-sub text in saying that Lydia is such a cool name, referring there to Lydia Fairhall with her song Winter Came. Now, if you like what we do here at 4ZZZ or Eco Radio, you can become a subscriber. Just go to 4zzz.org.au/support. That's the first step in becoming part of the family. From there, you can volunteer, and from volunteering, you can become an announcer, which is a great way to give back to the community and make things known, just like we do here every week with the Bushcare Roundup, which is a collation of environment and peace things that you can get amongst this week. It starts off with a little sting, and it goes a little something like this.
It's a Bushcare Roundup. They've been pulling out weeds, and then they put in trees. It's a Bushcare Roundup.
So, happening in the bush this Saturday the 14th at 7:30 in the morning, Rome Street Bushcare Working Bee. That's 32 Rome Street in Coorparoo. I might get along to that one. At 8 o'clock, you can go to the Growing Forward Dutton Park Commons Working Bee. That's 381 Gladstone Road, Dutton Park. At 8 o'clock as well, you can go to the Glindemann Park Working Bee. That's Logan Road and Holland Park West. And at 10 o'clock, 10 to 3, you can go to the Gathaa First Nations Market and Bushfood workshops. That's happening at the Mooloolah River Landcare Native Nursery on the Sunshine Coast. We just talked to Aunty Dale Chapman about the workshops she's going to be running. It sounds like a great market to get amongst. And on Sunday the 15th at 7 o'clock, you can go to the Whites Hill Reserve Bushcare Working Bee. That's the Jones Road entrance in Carina Heights. At 7:30, you can go to the Harmons Reserve Bushcare Working Bee. That's 34 Wood Street in Manly. And 8 o'clock, you can go to the Slacks Creek Catchment Group Bushcare Working Bee. That's Riverdale Park in Meadowbrook. And rounding everything off at 3 p.m, you can go to the Justice for Palestine Mungangin Don't Stop Fighting for Palestine rally. That's King George Square in Brisbane City. That's all we've got time for today, but don't go anywhere. Don't change those dials. Keep listening to 4ZZZ, because coming up, you've got the coolest cat on radio, Jordan, with Sonic Alien. And I don't know if you know this, but Jordan gets all the greatest interviews and is going to be talking to Lambrini girls. That's coming up soon. And then after that, they're going to be talking to Fangirl, which is awesome. So, yeah, enjoy that coming up on Sonic Alien. And last week they interviewed Radium Dolls. I was listening to the album this weekend, and I picked a favourite song to go out with today. It's rightly named Favourite by Radium Dolls. It's a bit of a slower one, a bit more swingy, and I am just a little bit of a sucker for the slow stuff. Maybe just because I'm a bit soft on the inside. So, yeah, stick around for Sonic Alien. This is Radium Dolls with Favourite. You're listening to 4ZZZ. This has been Eco Radio.
4ZZZ. Eco Radio. Radical Radio Collective.
4ZZZ.